All right, I think I'm live here on this mic. We'll get started in just a minute or so, but while everybody's grabbing their seat, we've got some fun throwback images for you guys this morning, and I have to tell you, I had to call my sister to track down this throwback image. Oh yeah, there it is, yeah. Good times. And when I told her what I needed it for, her response was, "Are you sure? Are you sure you want to show that to hundreds of people?" And now seeing it behind me on two large screens, perhaps she was correct. That's my cousin Steven and me at Wintergreen Resort in Virginia. Any East Coasters? Yeah, all right, yeah. All right, well, good morning, guys. Welcome. Welcome to the Ski Area COO Summit presented by Centura St. Anthony Summit Hospital. I'm Blair McGarry, Director of the Summit Chamber, and I am absolutely thrilled to be here with you guys today. Thank you all for taking time out of your busy schedules to join us. It's so great to see everyone live and in person. We also have a number of people joining us virtually, watching it live, broadcast live, which is a first, across the nation, so we're really excited about that. Thank you guys all so much for being here. I want to take a minute to recognize some people and groups that really make this event happen. Let's start by recognizing and thanking the Summit Chamber Board of Directors. If you guys could please stand. Yeah. Without the vision provided by this dynamic board, we just wouldn't be where we are today. I thank you for your wisdom and leadership. Thank you to the COO Summit Planning Committee. It is your creative ideas and vision that make this event possible. I also want to take a minute to recognize Mark Nunn. Mark, where are you? Do you mind standing for a minute? Yeah, let's give Mark a big round of applause. Mark has been the chair of the COO Summit for the last 10 plus years. He has done an amazing job, and again, this event would not be what it is today, nor would the chamber without Mark's leadership. He is stepping down as the role of chair of the COO committee, and we will definitely miss his leadership and guidance. I want to give a huge shout out to Chris Swanson and the entire team at Keystone Resort and Conference Center. Let's give them a big round of applause. This venue is absolutely gorgeous. The breakfast is fantastic, and if you have not checked out the pancake flambe stations, you absolutely are missing out. Thank you guys for being amazing and incredible hosts. I want to take a minute to mention some of our key sponsors of today's event. Centura St. Anthony Summit Hospital, our presenting sponsor. Panorama Summit Orthopedics. Alpine Bank. Excel Energy. First Bank. Skyrun Vacation Rentals. Summit Realtors. And iFurnish. Let's give them a round of applause. Thank you to our ski area partners. This event would not be possible without you. Arapahoe Basin, Breckenridge Resort, Copper Mountain, Loveland Ski Area, and of course, beautiful Keystone Resort. Let's give another huge round of applause to their teams that do a ton of work behind the scenes to make this event possible. The COO Summit is a key fundraiser for the Summit Chamber, allowing us to work really hard on behalf of you, our business community. Yep. All right, again, thank you guys all for being here. And now, without further ado, I am so pleased to welcome your host for this morning, Summit County Commissioner and Summit Chamber Board Member Elizabeth Lawrence, and Nell Wareham, President of the Summit Chamber Board of Directors.
All right, good morning, y'all. Thank you for being here. I'm Elizabeth Lawrence, your Summit County Commissioner and proud member of the Summit Chamber Board of Directors. And Blair, thank you for being our fearless leader in all you do for this event. So this year, and I'm here with, well, my bestie, Nell, real life bestie, and we get to do this together. We've done this a couple of times before, right? MC'd some different things. But this year we decided to really take it back to the basics. While we love our virtual audience and how we've grown that way, this event has really been about and for our local community. Our locals that love skiing here, riding, and our local businesses that support our tourism economy. So with that in mind, we focused on what we really love about this event. And that's hearing our trends in tourism data, hearing from our 5 COOs, and, of course, all of you are big talkers, so we know you like the networking piece. And that's your show for today, and we will get started on that.
Yep. Hi, I just want to say hi to everyone. It's just, Elizabeth was talking about the talking piece of this, right? The networking break. Just getting to hug truly all of our friends, all of our coworkers, new and old. This is absolutely one of my favorite mornings of the year. On the throwback photos, we were talking about this, and I just really wanted to remind you all and give you love, because it is on the backs of this community and all of you who do all of this amazing work and really make winter magical for our visitors. And I know sometimes, you get kind of through the season and that gets kind of hard to remember, but just remember that we've all been doing this a long time. We do love to play outside in the snow. My little throwback photo is from Rip's Ride, circa 1986. My mom made those snow pants. It's kind of crazy that chairlift's getting auctioned off. So this is just, how long we've really loved what we do here. Really want to do a big thank you. If you haven't already looked in your goodie bags, those of you who have been here a lot know what to expect. There's a Loveland ticket, so hopefully we'll see you out there, right? Thank you, Loveland. Piece of advice here on these tubing tickets. This is not for when the cousins come to town and you give it to them. This is not for some kid's birthday party. This is for you. You go tubing because it's a great excuse to scream for an hour, okay? So I want you all using these tubing tickets. And then Sauce Restaurants did this cute little thing. It's almost like these tear-off coupons, so no excuse for date nights here. Really want to thank them. Big thank you as well to I-70 Things. They're a new sponsor of ours. If you guys aren't following I-70 Things to get all of your up-to-date shenanigans on our beautiful interstate, please check them out. One more point too, as you're going along, the auction is an online auction that's going to be going on throughout the event. It'll be scrolling on the screens. We really want to thank all of the businesses who donated to this. Kind of go out into the back, look at some of the items there, but it does end at 10:30, so if you do win a physical item, you can take that home with you.
Awesome, thanks, Nell. My throwback photo, I don't know where it went, but that was my daughter, Zoe, who in 2007, there she is, we were over on Peak 9. Still had the little backpack, but she didn't need it, if you noticed that. Since that time, she has surpassed me in skiing, and now she won't ski with me at all anymore because she's a senior in high school. So mom is too slow. Do you know anything about that? Are your kids better than you? Just mine. So this morning, we do have a great morning in store for you. And for those of you that are joining us for the first time, we're going to break it up into a few parts. We're going to have some local presentations, including the travel market update, to give you some possible trends for this upcoming season. And then in about a half hour, that's that networking break where you guys can all talk to each other. But then you can only win a $100 prize if you're back in your seat after the networking break. We'll use bribes here. And then we're going to return to our presenting sponsor, Centura St. Anthony Summit. They're right here. Give them a huge round of applause. Thanks, you guys. And they're going to help kick off our COO presentations. And then we're going to have a fun COO roundtable with some questions, and you guys get to know our leadership a little bit better. So back to you, Nell.
Sure, and before we do get going, we really want to recognize all of our chamber members. There are many of you who have been with us for a long time and really, make us who we are, and a lot of great new members bringing new energy and ideas. So we appreciate your support. Appreciate your membership. If you have any questions about the chamber, there's many of us out here in the room, but really, it is what makes our community stronger together and, uniting and leading and educating the business community here.
All right, and before we bring up our next speaker, we would like to thank Skyrun Vacation Rentals, who are helping bring you this amazing content. Skyrun, are you here? Wave a hand. Oh, right there. Awesome. Table 14. Thanks, y'all. And so the man that needs no introduction, we have Ralf Garrison. He's a destination travel industry veteran, serial entrepreneur, and a favorite guest here at the COO Summit for many, many years, even though he's a young pup. Come on, Ralf.
My throwback photo threw back a little further than many of the rest. Some of you have told me they don't believe that that really is me. How could somebody like that turn into somebody like this? But I think there was a little bit of a hint in that when they saw the telephone, they was like, yeah, probably is Ralf after all. So it's my pleasure to be back, invited back another time to help you guys kick off the winter season, the COO start to the process. It's my opportunity to contribute with a little bit of market update, and I very much look forward to being able to hear from the COOs and those of you about the upcoming winter season, what we have in front of us. I'm particularly interested in the opening this year more than otherwise, because I have a bet with my wife that I'm going to lose 5 pounds by the time the mountain opens. I am currently 7 pounds short. You can tell as an analyst and statistician, there's a little problem there. By the way, you guys look marvelous. I haven't been in a group like this for a couple of years. I guess none of us have. But this is big time, and I'm very impressed. The Summit County Chamber and you all have come a long way in the time that I've been involved in the process. But I have a lot of information to impart in a very limited amount of time. So I'm going to be using data from Intopia, Destometrics, and a broader context and interpretation from the Insight Collective, both groups of folks with whom I'm familiar with experience in the past. I hope to be able to do justice to a high-level overview of the forces that are at play and the overall market. And with that, I'm going to jump right in to the biggest shift that has occurred over these last couple of years. Huge concern about healthcare and, of course, the COVID virus and its unintended consequences has now transitioned to, yes, it's going to be around for a long time, but it's not what is in people's minds as they think about their use of discretionary dollars and the like. It is market uncertainty and geopolitical strife, and that is changing the sort of dynamics of these two pistons, and I'll be talking about both of them going right on down the road in the process now. So, most important really in the last couple of years has been COVID and its unintended consequences and the catalyst that it created for these forces at play that you see on the right-hand side of the screen. Remote work, well, we all learned when we were sequestered that we could work from home. If we can work from home, we can work from anywhere. If we can work from anywhere, why wouldn't we? Right? Logical evolution, work became not really where you go, but what you do from wherever you choose to be. And with the influence of leaving urban destinations for a safer venue, COVID refugees started showing up as in-migrants to communities like this. Good news economically, but maybe too much of a good thing to some standpoint. That in-migration had some consequences that first showed up in competition for lodging and housing. The distinction is we use lodging when it's short-term, we use housing when it's long-term. A unit could be 1 or 2, there's competition amongst those. But when there's always more demand than supply, price goes up. And whether it's real estate sales or long-term rental or short-term vacation rental, prices have gone up, in fact, dramatically, more than I've ever seen before, and against the headwinds of COVID and these economic considerations. So there's some interesting things going on here, but to make a long story short, I would rather be you than just about anybody else on the universe in terms of how you are weathering the last couple of years and your prospects going forward. Well, with pricing comes another problem. The in-migrants about whom we are speaking find themselves in a situation of often being economically independent. But when they come into a community of the rest of us who are economically dependent, it creates sort of an unfair playing field. And that's contributing to some tough decisions about how we make an affordable job environment for our marketplace. And out-migration is contributed by the fact that it has become economically difficult to hold on in the workforce. There's some things that are happening down at the bottom that you see on the right. It looks like as a result of too much tourism, that some people call it, this over-demand, too much of a good thing, that focuses no longer on the demand and the visitor as it might once have been, but it's beginning to focus more toward longer-term stays, residential interest, a little less on the short-term visitor, a little more long-term. We're seeing some communities starting to move toward lifestyle retirement communities. You know, I have not yet seen the day when I come around the corner and see a resort sponsored by the makers of Geritol. It might be one that will attract me one day. Who knows the way things are going? So that's where we've come from and the forces that we are still dealing with. Moving now to today, economic and geopolitical considerations are rapid in the process, and a recent poll just the start of last week by NBC News shows what consumers are concerned about now on the right-hand side. Threats to democracy are two things, really. It's the Ukrainian war and the related consequences that might come from that, but it's also what I will call, domestic political buffoonery, for lack of a better phrase. Not a new, maybe a new word, but not a new concept to most of us. And with the midterm elections coming up and the prospects of Biden running against Trump 2 years from now, bad dream? I don't know. I am looking forward to the end of more than 2 years from now and another try, at some stability and some reasonableness in the marketplace, but I digress. So new forces at play, new considerations, but how is that impacting us in the leisure travel industry, in the mountain resort community? Off we go in the overall process. And I'm going to give you a quick little look going back to 2008 on the far left-hand side about how lodging in particular tells us about visitation. From 2008 on the left, you can see that post-recession, occupancy and rate, occupancy in black, rate in in green, conspired together to create overall revenues in red. And by about 2014, in the middle of the graph, we were back caught up with ourselves. Slow growth up until 2020 is pretty reasonable, and that's the way the world had behaved prior to about January of 2020. Now you see really the focus on the right-hand side that began in January, where we found ourselves with an unparalleled black swan experience. Occupancy dropped, rate never did drop, but by December and the prospects of a vaccine to help us out, demand turned back, pricing went up, occupancy went up, and we have been experiencing the opposite of what most of the world has been experiencing. More demand than we are able to accommodate, and the consequences of too much of a good thing. Overall revenue increases in those 18 months was just about 100%. Actually never seen anything like it. That's measured in lodging revenue, mind you. It doesn't necessarily apply across the board. You'll have to look at your own view. So if that's where we are and how things have increased, let me give you a little look about how we got there. This is a look at the summer that is just now waning, the 2022 year, which is, as you see, from May through October. This is based on a sample of about 60% of the rental inventory that's out there that participates in the Entopia Destimetrics program. And reading across the top line from left to right, occupancy is off just a little bit as we close out the summer season. Rate is up just a little bit. The overall net effect just about flat. This is compared to summer 2021, which was a very strong summer, and it now is dealing with not only the waning COVID, but these new economic headwinds. So it's an admirable sense of performance about how Summit County is weathering all kinds of storms. And I can tell you for sure that capital markets look very carefully about how you handle not only good times, but bad times in terms of the growth and the confidence that they have in your businesses. So good news here. I've taken the liberty to take just a moment to put down at the bottom of the list your comparison of 2022 against 2019. 2019 was the first solid year prior to COVID, right? 2021 coming out of the other tail end. And you can see that now compared to 2019, we're still behind on occupancy a little bit. We're up dramatically on rate, 22% in the middle. The combination of occupancy and rate has increased summer business by 11% now compared to 2019. So we're more than back to pre-COVID and enjoying summer as it wanes. Now I'm going to move to winter, the all-important winter, and ask you to humor me a little bit while I dive into data that those of you who know Destometrics will see right away. The rest of you I'm going to have to walk you through, but this is close to the end of the homework and before the party starts. I know that I'm just setting the stage in a sort of a warm-up band, so I'll get my business done and get on with it here in just a couple of moments' time. With that in mind, this is what Destometrics calls an EKG. I'm going to help you out through the process, but I did not know I had two screens. So I can laser point over here, but not there and not back there. I'm just going to paint a word picture and ask you to bear with me. The graphs and the bars and the charts that you see atop is what's called an EKG, but I want you just to focus on the horizontal line across from left to right in the middle. That's daily occupancy of lodging in Summit County beginning with November, the coming winter season, on the left, and going as far as we can see with advanced reservations to the right, which is through March. This is data as of September 30th, looking forward, and those little black bars that you see going up, that's when business is better this year than last year. Black bars going down is when business is failing, that is underperforming last year. So we're going to walk across from left to right, starting with November 1st. Black bars go up, show that we're doing well, but that really season doesn't start very well until there is a little closer to the start of the season, till we get the snow vibe, and that's one of the things that early season's announcements does to help us. Thanksgiving comes along. It really moved a little bit from the week before, which is now a divot, to the week after. That's just a shift in the holiday. You can see a pretty good divot coming next from left to right, and this is of concern because Christmas and New Year's are both in that time frame, and that's our bread and butter time. It is because Christmas and New Year's fall on Mondays that it has adjusted the school break calendar in many of the regions that feed us. And with the change of the school break calendar, so go the vacations. So instead of people vacationing before and into Christmas and going home, it looks like they're waiting at home until after Christmas and then coming to join us. That's going to be a significant shift if it continues to behave like this. But I want to remind you that this early on, the data is thin, and it bears keeping an eye on, as does most everything I'm talking about these days in the overall process. So we're going to watch that carefully, but you can see that there's a rebound in January, which is beneficial as well. So putting those together, there may be some rate resistance. Prices are unbelievable in the holiday seasons, not only for lodging and vacation components, but for air and rent car travel. Now we're moving into the middle of the screen. January is about flat. You can see a little bump in February. You can see a little bump in March. Easter is not yet on the radar screen, but it's April 9th, and that's a pretty good time for Summit County. You can usually keep your season going and visitation coming in through that time frame, providing a good product for all concerned. So I like this layout for you, notwithstanding what's happening over the Christmas season, which is rapidly approaching in the process. Thank you for letting me get through the EKG. Now going back to how the numbers tell us about the winter season. By the way, my confidence monitor is not telling me exactly how much time I have left, so apparently I have all I need. The first big voice that is talking today. No, I'll keep it moving right along. We're now looking at the same thing that we did before. In this case, it is occupancy and rate, the total being revenues for the upcoming winter season, again, based on September 30th data. And in addition to Summit County, I've added another set of numbers. That's the industry. In this case, it's your comp set as best as we can cobble it together, 15 Western destination mountain resorts. So reading across the chart from left to right, you can see that occupancy is off a little bit. These changes in the numbers are nominal with this early season data, so they're about the same between Summit County and your peers in the industry. You can see that rate is up again, and significantly up again in both cases. And although there are two different ways to get there, one's more occupancy than rate, one's more rate than occupancy, by the time we get to the far right, overall revenues across the Western mountain resort industries are now looking to be up 10% again, on top of the increases that we've had heretofore. I also included a benchmark look at 2019, once again, just to show you. We are tracking ahead of 2019 occupancy, as you see in the bottom left. We are up almost 40%, as is the industry and overall rate since 2019. And the combination for total revenue, the lodging tax that would go to the county and provide gas for the other work that we do together, or the municipalities, up between 40 and 50%. There are no numbers that I have ever seen since Destometrics got started in 2004 that compare even vaguely to what's going on here. So when you think about a lot of demand, there's money that goes with that demand. The problem is balancing demand and the supply to the benefit of all, and I don't have to tell you that. You live it every day, and I'm here to tell you there's more to come. Isn't that exciting? So with that in mind and most of the numbers behind me, let me just give you a recap. This is to tell you what you're going to tell you, and then tell you what you told you in the outside event that 200 words per minute is a little too much for you to listen to. So I am recapping the short-term piece part of here, and I should have covered most of this. Maybe a moment on inflation. Very stubborn at a little over 11%, and holding, and of course that is of concern to all of us, especially the feds, who are hugely determined to get that number down, and they're doing that by raising interest rates, which really cools the economy. And we're watching that occur for many that are concerned about it, and overall. Their intention is to slow the marketplace down, but not crash it in some way that would be not in our advantage. We are all hopeful, I think, to see how that all plays out. Words about recession come up all the time. Our brothers in the economy business have predicted 5 out of the last 2 recessions by way, and I am in that party by looking at the data and saying, yeah, you know, growth this year overall in the world is not as great as it was in the past. 2 trailing quarters tell you about a recession, but you usually don't hear about that for a couple of months, maybe a year or so thereafter. Old news is no good news. Do we want to talk about yesterday's weather forecast? Irrelevant for the most part. So yes, it has a number that's gravitas. We're going to feel like we're in a recession. It may be formally called, I think, in the early part of 2023. But for the most part, that's what I think we are faced. I've put transportation down at the bottom, even though I didn't get a chance to talk about it, so it does get honorable mention. And over the long term, this is the things that I think that we're going to be faced with, from resort community evolution, to which I've made reference, the marketing, the economics, the housing versus lodging. I added weather and climate. It really deserves on every long-term list, even though I haven't had an opportunity to talk about it. So apologies, but it's always been a big deal. It's becoming increasingly apparent, present in mind, for not only those of us who live in these fragile market environments, for those of us who visit. And that, I think, gives us some horsepower to really go to work on doing something that's substantial, and we're seeing those. Collaboration and cooperation, one of the few things that we have in our own control, and an opportunity for me to show you this graphic, somewhat tongue-in-cheek, because I see a lot of different resort communities working together, and maybe not so well as they incur the pressures of these last couple of years. So with that and some interest about how our COOs and other see the ability to cooperate, I'll leave you with final thoughts that are not really mine. They're borrowed from my buddy Charles Darwin, who points out that it's not about being fit or cunning or smart that allows those businesses to survive and prosper. It's about being adaptive and agile. And based on the market conditions and what we see with our primary dependencies on both weather and the economy, both of them basically wild cards, it's the best advice that I have for those of you who have the hand on the tiller of your business in this coming winter season. Please excuse the sailing metaphor, just can't help myself. So, there you have it. Thank you for your time. I'll be back a little later on to have some fun with the COOs. I wish you a good day, a good season, and I'm done.
Big thank you to Ralf. Thank you, Ralf. We really appreciate you being here and being part of this event for years and years. One of my first jobs when I worked at Copper Mountain in marketing, thank you, Jesse True, I got to walk up and down Main Street, Frisco, Dillon, go ask, hey, what was your ADR? What is your occupancy rate? So it's great to see, this data is still living and breathing and informing us. With this, I'd really like to welcome one of our key sponsors, Adana Allen from Alpine Bank. She's the market president in Steamboat Springs and Summit County. Adana was born and raised on her family's multi-generation cattle ranch in Steamboat, and she and her husband Troy continue the tradition with their 2 kids, Leah and Levi. They like to spend a lot of their time outside, either roping in the arena or skiing at Steamboat and surrounding areas. She's got her master's degree of science in agricultural economics from the University of Wyoming. We love Wyoming. She's been with Alpine Bank since 1999 and serves as the market president. So Adana, come on up and we're going to play a commercial for you. Thank you.
Hi there. Thank you so much for having me. So it seems these days a lot of phrases get thrown around. Words that once carried a lot of power and respect and had deep-seated meaning attached may not anymore. Words like environmentalist, politician, leader, and even banker come to mind. But what about the word local? Has the definition of a local changed over time? And who exactly gets to claim the title of being a local? Let's take a look back at some of Summit County's first locals to see what the common thread is. Earlier this year, columnist Bill Betts wrote a thoughtful article in his Get Wild series for the Summit Daily entitled, "What Happened to the Utes of Summit County?" And I realized the Summit County first and purest locals were the Indians. For several thousand years, the Summit County area had served as the hunting grounds for the nomadic indigenous people of the Arapahoe tribes, and then most recently the Ute tribes, following the century-old migration trails of the elk, deer, and bison. American Indians were our most and purest locals, and they deserve our respect and steadfast acknowledgement. And then major gold finds in the mid-19th century drove the county's development. In 1860, George Spencer of the prospecting firm Spencer and Company founded the town of Breckenridge. Historians still debate the origin of the town's name. One argument put forth by local historians Bill Fountain and Rob Theobald is that the settlement was likely named for early resident Thomas Breckenridge, spelled with an E. And the spelling was later changed to Breckenridge, spelled with an I, when Spencer tried to flatter U.S. Vice President John C. Breckenridge, with an I, into awarding the town a post office. We can see who won. One of the first Coloradans to notice the harmful effects of acid mine drainage was Edwin Carter, a Breckenridge miner also trained in taxidermy. Carter gave up gold mining in the 1860s and began documenting variants in species caused by mining-related pollution. By 1875, he had accumulated a large collection of species at his log cabin in Breckenridge, which he opened as a museum for the public as well as scientists. After his death, though, in 1900, his collection formed the foundation of the Denver Museum of Nature and Science. Fast forward several decades, when in 1945, the Denver Chamber of Commerce Winter Sports Committee hired 10th Mountain Division veteran Lawrence Jump and Olympic skier Frederick Schaeffler to potential survey ski areas. They found an ideal site on the west side of Loveland Pass and added Dick Durrance, an Olympic skier, to help lobby the U.S. Forest Service to declare the site a winter sports area. The Forest Service approved their plans in June of 1946, and later that year, Arapahoe Basin opened to the public as Summit County's first ski area. In the late 1950s, I know, right? Bill Rounds formed the Summit County Development Corporation. The company opened Breckenridge Ski Area in December of 1961. Two other areas, Keystone and Copper Mountain, opened in 1970 and 1971, respectively. And by 2001, 4 major ski resorts in Summit County were attracting more than 30% of all ski visits in Colorado. And ski tourism made up 37% of our county's economy. Today, Summit County's economy relies mostly on tourism, and we are the heart of Colorado's ski country. As we just heard from Ralph, an uptick in tourism in recent years, as well as migration from the urban areas to our community, have translated into a boon for Summit County. So while it seems the faces of our community may come and go and change over time, the spirit of a local remains. As long as the natural environment remains Summit County's most valuable asset, most residents will remain to keeping it a stunning place. So are you a local? I'd say if your body not only resides here, but your heart does too. If you dedicate your time, your money, and your resources to keeping this place special, and if you share a mutual commitment to our natural resources, like all of those before us, then, yep, you're a local too. Thank you.
Adana. and thank you to First Bank. In a bit here, we're gonna see several commercials introducing our commercial break. And these are from our top sponsors, but I think at the end of the day, you recognize these sponsors, not just from this event, but probably almost every event, whether it's a fundraiser or anything going on here in the community. And that's because these are the businesses that support us day in and day out, get asked day in and day out to probably, whether it's for auction items or goodie bags or media sponsorships. I'm just looking around at all of these banners. So we support and really appreciate every single one of these businesses for showing up, being the backbone of the community, being the backbone that supports our nonprofits and our business communities. And with that, we'll have some exciting commercials. And then Mike Schamberger from First Bank is gonna come up and take the stage and share a few important announcements.
I am the field hockey coaching, parks and trails conserving, best friends spoiling, best friends weekending, diversity championing, road to recovery cheering occupational therapist. And I am Centura.
The sun sends over 100 quadrillion watts of power to the Earth. For more than 15 years, Xcel Energy has been a leader in clean, reliable power with some of the lowest bills in the nation. This is how the future is made.
Make the Ramada by Wyndham your home base for the winter vacation of a lifetime. Uniquely located less than 30 minutes from 6 major ski areas, it's your winter fun headquarters. For adventure and affordability, choose Ramada by Wyndham Frisco.
Hi, my name's Jeremy Hume, and I'm the co-owner of Phoenix CR Pro. We're a new general contracting company in Summit County and are very excited to serve the community for years to come. We decided to join the Summit Chamber in order to meet other local business owners and get involved in the community. Everyone at the Chamber has been super helpful and very welcoming. Within the first couple of months of becoming a member, we've already received some business through connections made. They're a great organization, and I look forward to continuing our membership into the future.
Locally owned, locally operated, serving Breckenridge, Copper, Keystone, and Summit County for over 15 years. Sky Run Vacation Rentals.
I would describe First Bank's culture as progressive.
Progressive. Progressive.
Supported.
I'd probably say thriving.
Diversity. Open-mindedness.
Family.
Good morning. So the background for that picture is, for some reason, we'll call it maybe third grade, I woke up and said, I am not smiling for school picture day no matter what. But I assure you that's not the way I feel today. Rather, winter and ski season are upon us, and I'm super excited to be here with all of you at this great annual event for our community. I'm Michael Schamberger, Executive Vice President for First Bank's Mountains Market, and I've been lucky to spend the entirety of my 25-year career here in Summit County. I think we'll admit it's been a bit of a challenging year with record high fuel prices, inflation, and staffing shortages, all coming on the heels of a pandemic. And at times like this, and always, how wonderful it is to have the beauty and majesty of Colorado outdoors in our backyard. And with brisk morning air now upon us, I think we're all looking forward to hitting the slopes at our 5 favorite ski areas. But it isn't just the ski resorts that make Summit a truly vibrant place to live, work, and play. It's all the local businesses that comprise it, so many of which are here today. Thank you all for coming today. Your business's health and financial well-being are what keep this community humming along. You create jobs, bring in tourism, and enable a sustainable community. And First Bank is proud to support you and our community. During the pandemic, First Bank was far and away the #1 PPP lender in the state of Colorado, with loans totaling $1.4 billion, which helped over 14,000 businesses. Of this, $168 million of PPP loans to over 2,050 businesses were made in Summit and Eagle counties. Also last year, First Bank contributed nearly $5 million to local nonprofits, including $180,000 here in the Mountains Market. So on behalf of First Bank, my final act of support today will be to welcome the networking break about to happen in about 20 minutes. But before the break begins, please let me remind you of two important things. First, the auction is set to end at 10:30, so be sure to get your bids in. Secondly, we need to have you back in your seat, I think at 9 o'clock. So please check your watches for that. And I guess we're not above bribing you to make that happen. In fact, we're going to be doing a drawing. And at 9 o'clock, Elizabeth Lawrence and Nathan Strubble, who is the marketing and events manager for the Outlets of Silverthorne, will randomly select a name from a list of registered guests. If your name is drawn and you're sitting in your seat, you're going to get, you could take home a gift card for $100 to the Outlets of Silverthorne. And if you aren't, they'll have to select another audience member, so be sure to be back in your seat at that time. Now, on behalf of First Bank, thank you, and please go enjoy the networking break.
Okay, we're going to start our contest. I see folks scrambling. Thank you. If you want to win that money. All right, this morning I am here with Nathan Strobel. Is it Strobel? I got it right. Nathan Strobel, Marketing and Events Manager for the Outlets at Silverthorne. And we're going to randomly draw a name from the list of registered guests, and we're just going to see which one of you is going to win a $100 gift card to the Outlets at Silverthorne. I know I would use it at the Williams-Sonoma Outlet. That's my favorite place because I love cooking. So Nathan, you want to draw it? Okay, let's see. Do we have Sarah McNeil, table 55? Sarah at 55. Are you at your seat? Is she at her seat? No? Okay, well then we're going on someone else. I love the honesty, folks. Okay, Mary Ellen Brosterma, table 19, Howard Head. She's at her seat. Awesome. Congrats, Mary Ellen. That's great. And thanks again, Outlets at Silverthorne, you guys being a great sponsor.
My one job was
you
to
can
grab
talk
the
here.
gift card, and I was nervous, so it's happening.
Okay, so Nathan has a gift card at his table, Mary Ellen. So y'all can follow each other and get it. Nathan, thank you. You did a great job. Thank you so much. Okay, we can't wait to see what she spends her $100 on. All right, Nell's going to come up next and let you know about our special guest.
First of all, I made a boo-boo, and I need to apologize to Alpine Bank. Thank you to my real friends who told me that I made a boo-boo. This is what happens when you read ahead in the script and you say, thank you to Adana at Alpine Bank for everything. I apologize. So my brother works at Alpine Bank, too. He's a compliance vice president, so he probably really would have been upset about that if I messed that one up. So thank you. We're going to have Lee Boyles come up. He's the Chief Executive Officer of Centura St. Anthony Summit Hospital, a place that some of us get to visit when we have too much fun. And thank you so much to Centura. You really have been a longtime sponsor of this event and of many other events and activities around the county. Here we go.
Thank you.
Thank you and good morning. I'll give a little background on this pretty pimp outfit I got on there on the left. I worked at Kmart in high school growing up, and 3 days before this ski trip, a gentleman came in with that awesome orange coat, and it didn't quite fit him, and he had to return it. So I said, "Man, that looks pretty cool." Probably not. And then 2 days before this ski trip, somebody took my stocking hat after basketball practice, and so that is a crocheted hat by my grandma that she made for my mom. And there's a matching scarf too, but I wasn't at liberty to wear it. And in the backdrop is Big Sky, Montana. And that's about from when everybody says, "Oh, you're from Montana, that's so pretty." I'm like, well, I'm from the east side of Montana, which they kind of call North Dakota almost, and a lot of people don't claim it. So, but 400 miles to Big Sky for our ski trips, and loved every bit of it. We are just so excited about the upcoming ski season, and really appreciate the data and analytics that was shared earlier, because it is incredible how our volumes, as well as everybody's business, just mirrors those. And we're just so blessed and humbled to be the caregivers in the community, to partner with our mountains and the resort leadership. I visit a lot of patients in the hospital, and I guess when I walk in the room, it's all pretty much the same introduction. "Hi, I'm Lee. That looks terrible. Tell me what happened." A little more compassionate than that, of course. But so many of them describe, their situation and how seamless it was, from injury or accident on the mountain, the incredible response from ski patrol, how they get down the hill to the emergency and urgent care centers that we have at the bases of Keystone, Breck, and Copper, and most of them don't even know those exist. And then what a seamless process and well-oiled machine it is with our incredible EMS partners to get them to the hospital, to get them to surgery, to get them home, or to also, when needed, Flight for Life is such a huge partner of ours too. So we're just so excited about what's coming up, and just so appreciative again for the partnership that we have with you guys, and it really is a team effort, and we're glad to play a part of it. I'm gonna introduce my fine friend David Twillman, who is our RN clinical coordinator at our Copper ER Urgent Care Center at the base, and he's gonna talk a little bit about our High Altitude Research Center. I have two more things really short, and then I'll be out of your hair.
Good morning. I am not wearing my RN Clinical Coordinator hat this morning. I'm wearing my High Altitude Research Center Advisor hat. And for those of you who don't know, High Altitude Research Center exists. It took off in July of 2022, and it is based here in Summit County. The goal is to study where altitude intersects with hypertension, heart disease, pulmonary issues, sleep disorders. There's so much we don't know about this. So we have launched the largest project to date since July of 2022. And we need your help. So our hope is to enlist 3,000 to 5,000 people, citizens, that have lived in the county for 6 months or longer, and participate in this study. And it's all actually either at your fingertips or sitting at your feet right now. It is this. There is this card in your bags, and there's a QR code on it. So it takes 10 to 15 minutes. It is confidential. Don't do it now because Lee's got more to say. But throughout the day today, if we could all make it a collective goal to finish it before our heads hit the pillow tonight, it would be a huge help to us. And if you could go out to your networks and spread that this exists. Again, 18 years old, you've lived in the county for 6 months or longer, it helps us greatly. It is confidential. It takes 10 to 15 minutes. Did I mention that? But anyways, we appreciate your participation in this and pushing it out to the community. If you have any questions, please reach out to me. Thank you so much.
Thanks, David. And I'd like to give a shout out to the incredible donors and sponsors that have helped fund the High Altitude Research Center, and just excited to get that off the ground. A couple more things. Want to give a big shout out to Flight for Life for Colorado. This is our 50-year anniversary. You know, we are the first mountain base of operations for Flight for Life right up here in Summit, and just the partnership that we have with Flight for Life, Summit County Rescue, law enforcement agencies, fire and EMS. The work they do is incredible. I heard somebody mention I-70, and we all know how enjoyable that is in the winter. And Flight for Life, it's around 26 minutes from takeoff of Summit to landing on the roof of St. Anthony Hospital in Lakewood. So it's just incredible what those guys and gals can do and how quickly we can get people packaged up at the hospital and to the level of care that they need. Also, this year is the first year that we decided for the summer in partnership with Chris from Keystone in keeping our Keystone ER urgent care open year-round. So we started that this summer, and with the amount of tourists and volume that we see at Keystone, we felt it was a better way for us to serve the population, the community, and the resort there, and had a really successful summer, and that mirrors with our Breckenridge ER urgent care that's open year-round as well. And then just want to shout out to all the caregivers in the county, the nurses, the support staff, physicians, everyone that helps us deliver world-class care to the world-class ski experience that our visitors get when they come visit all of you. So thank you very much, and if you have anything you need, please reach out.
Thank you, Lee, and thanks to Centura. And just a reminder, I serve on the board of the High Altitude Research Center. I think we call it HARC. And so encourage you guys to check that out and be a part of it. Certainly living at 10,000 feet, sometimes, I don't know about you, but maybe we don't get the best sleep, but we're gonna find out why that is. So now, the moment you've all been waiting for, you want to hear from our COOs and what's happening. So I'm gonna invite my best friend from Clear Creek, who I would like to annex so that we could say we have 5 ski areas, but we still count him. So let's bring up Rob Goodell. Thank you, Rob, from Loveland.
Oh boy. Chris, thank you very much for having us here. Your Keystone crew is doing an amazing job, and that proves that I worked at Keystone just a few years, decades ago. And it also, I'm sure, going through Betsy's mind is, what the hell happened to that guy? Let's take a look back at what went on at Loveland this last season. Let it snow, bring it on.
In a continuous mode rather than single shot at work. 3, 2, 1.
Good boy, this is Otis, the new ski patrol dog at Loveland Ski Area.
Loveland, they did a great thing up there.
Yeah. 78 couples got married. 78 on top of the mountain matrimony mass wedding ceremony. Takes place 11,000 feet up. Take a look.
I just love this. Up in the high country, such a fun day for 36 kids from Greeley Elementary School, Greenlee in Denver. These fifth graders strapped on their colorful gear and hit the slopes up at Loveland. Check it out, getting a great lesson. For most, it was their first time skiing, like ever, and the excitement was palpable. The trip sponsored by the Chris Anthony Youth Initiative Project, dedicated to improving the quality of life for these youngsters.
A longtime owner and ski industry pioneer, Chet R. Upham Jr., will be inducted into the Colorado Snow Sports Museum and Hall of Fame.
All right. Getting us all excited. Snow guns are running. We have started snowmaking a little bit later than we have in the past, but it's coming, it's coming. So you saw a little bit. Let's talk about what's new and exciting at Loveland, Lift 6. This is a lift. It's replacing a lift, fixed grip double that was put in 1977. This will be a fixed grip triple. For those of you that have not had the chance to use your tickets that you've received from Loveland, this is where Lift 6 is located. Serves some great intermediate terrain, our terrain park. Also one of our on-mountain warming huts, Ito Cabin. For those of you that may not be as familiar with Loveland, we have 4 warming huts throughout the whole mountain. All of them have barbecue grills. You can bring your lunch. You can have your lunch up on the mountain. Just another wonderful experience. It would not be a presentation from me without showing bathrooms. So, once again, we have some new bathrooms. These are located down at the Valley Building. How many race parents do we have here today? Oh, come on, there's got to be more race parents. Come. Those of you guys understand why we did this expansion. Your race experience is going to be much better now down at the Valley. But it's about 14,000 square feet of space, most of which is inside additional space for seating. But the services downstairs are what we're extremely excited about. Additional space for sales, ski and ride school, the children's center. We're returning from a 2-year hiatus of all-day programming. We're very excited about that. All-day lessons, offering lunches, the inside space to get them started, expanded rental facilities. Ensuring our commitment to introducing people to our sport the correct way. We feel the Valley experience is a phenomenal introduction, and we want to make sure that we start people in our sport the right way, have them become lifelong skiers and riders. This also reflects the goal and the vision of Chet Upham. Chet was a longtime owner of Loveland Ski Area, we are celebrating, 50 years seems to be the theme at this meeting. This family, the Upham family, has owned Loveland Ski Area for 50 years now and seen it through some tough times and some good times, and have always, the passion for the sport has been high on their list, and we are very proud to continue that tradition. Still owned by the same family today. These are Chet's children, Kathy, Barbara, and Robert, that oversee the operations, and we're just honored to keep that going. Snowcat tours, we talked about this last year. We did not get them open last season because of some snow conditions, but we are very confident when things hit just right, we'll be offering the guided tours back in Dry Gulch this season. One thing that everyone may not realize, the environmental concern back in that drainage. There's been some talk about the reintroduction of the greenback cutthroat trout. It has been successful in Herman's Gulch, which is the next drainage to the east, but they've also been reintroduced into this drainage where we will hold the guided skiing. But we were very close partnership with Fish and Wildlife, the Forest Service. Our patrollers participated in hiking up and introducing the fingerlings into the stream. So we're hoping to operate this year and do it very environmentally sustainable, and very excited about the success of the reintroduction to the native species here in Colorado. We are pleased to continue our partnership with organizations that work on diversifying and inclusion in our industry. Things like Chris Anthony, the SOS Outreach, Burton Chill are very important to us, and these are relationships that we are striving forward to expand and do whatever we can to meet their goals and build the diversity in our industry. We are partnered again with CDOT for the snow staying to help alleviate some of the traffic on I-70, and very pleased that that program is returning again this winter. And then for our future, we're looking at a 500 space parking lot expansion, not this next year, but we're still working through all the design and planning for an expansion east of the valley, probably in 2024. In closing, we do a lot of, in this industry, we are competitors, but there's a lot of collaboration, and no more so than the safety of our guests and employees. And I just want to give a quick recognition to someone who has dedicated his life and career to that purpose and helping educate all of us in the industry in the safety of all our guests, and that's Patrick O'Sullivan from Arapahoe Basin, that we're very proud. But thank you all. Please come use your tickets. We'd love to see you at Loveland. Please. Thank you.
Rob. If you notice, Rob had a tie on in his 1988 Keystone employee badge. So does that mean if these folks wear a tie, they too can be a Ski Area COO? I don't know. Never know. All right, and of course, Loveland's bathrooms. We love them. They look great. Congrats. Next up, we're going to invite the tightest end in Copper Mountain. Y'all, that's a football joke. Dustin, I thought you would laugh, but not be mortified. Okay. So Dustin Lyman, COO of Copper Mountain, NFL tight end.
Thank you, Elizabeth. That's so awkward. Of course. No, it's so that's that picture looks old, but that's probably because those clothes are all homemade. Mama made those, and yeah, that's me and the family, probably at Eldora. I grew up in Boulder, and that's where we went. And Daddy was tight-fisted, so that's why we're on cross-country skis, because even back then, a lift ticket was too expensive. So you got to get a job in the ski industry to ride the chairlifts. Well, anyway, thanks for having me here. It's exciting to be back, see so many familiar faces. I know we did this last year, but it almost seems like because of COVID, we're doing it all for the first time. And it does seem like it's getting a lot bigger. But it's great to be here. It's great to see y'all. Thanks to the Chamber for hosting, and let's get on with it. So before we dive into the year ahead at Copper, let's take a look back at last season. That's exciting, and it was an incredible season for us last year. It was record-setting by almost every measure, so visitation, guest satisfaction, employee satisfaction, a lot of things that we care about. And you know, in addition to providing that great guest experience, we also had an incredible season of athletic training. So it was an Olympic season, and we welcomed Olympians from all over the globe. In fact, for the Beijing Olympics, almost every single podium was filled with athletes that had been through Copper for training. We hosted snowboarding, alpine, freestyle, border and ski cross, Paralympic disciplines. We had a bunch of Olympic qualifying events at Copper, including the Dew Tour and the Toyota US Grand Prix. I mean, we had, in addition to our US Olympians, we also had Sophia Goja, Eileen Gu, pretty much anybody that you saw in Beijing was in Summit County, was at Copper Mountain getting their training on. We also, this past season, we elevated our partnership with US Ski and Snowboard. So we've had the Speed Center at Copper for a number of years, and we took it a step further. Now Copper has been named the official training center for the US Ski and Snowboard team. Copper is the first and only resort in Colorado with this distinction. And as part of the partnership, we introduced new airbag training. So 2 new airbag training zones. We had athletes, we had Sean White, we had David Wise, we had the rest of the Olympic team there. We also hosted the international teams. We had Ayuma Hirano here, who after winning his gold medal in Beijing, the very next day we got a note from his coach thanking us for the airbags. Had it not been for the airbag training, they told us, at Copper, he would not have landed those back-to-back triple corks that won the gold medal. So we'll continue to use these tools. We're looking forward to the next 4-year cycle leading up to the Milano Cortina Games in 2026. That being said, I'm also excited to share some highlights showcasing our partnership with the U.S. team.
But this Copper Mountain Resort now announcing it's been named as an official U.S. ski and snowboard team training center. That makes Copper the only official training center for U.S. and ski snowboard teams in Colorado.
We are at Copper Mountain in Colorado, which has been named the official Olympic training grounds for the 2026 Winter Games in Milano Cortina, Italy. And so that allows these extreme athletes not only to hit the slopes, but also the super pipe.
The airbags are really designed for people that are pretty advanced skill level up to the most elite level, Olympic level, which is why some of the Olympians that are in Beijing right now at the top of the podium were here training on those airbags. It allows them to try some of the most complicated tricks without that risk of injury.
The stage is being set for this Olympic qualifying event in less than 2 months from the start of the Olympics in China. Athletes from all over the world are here to compete in the halfpipe event right at the base of Copper, making it easy for fans to see the world's best and also get a few pictures with them.
This was the scene just a few weeks ago at Dew Tour 2021. Ayumu Hirano launching that.
Oh my gosh, Ayumu, the first triple cork ever done in competition.
Not a lot of half pipes even in North America. You've got to go to places like Woodward and Copper Mountain.
All of these competitors that you see here in the pipe, they will all travel over to the United States and ride that pipe at Copper Mountain in the early season.
But when it comes to the ski season for these elite athletes, skiers and snowboarders, Copper really has the season that extends almost all year. 11 months of training here at Copper Mountain. Gary, Corey, Natasha, September is the only month when they don't have on-snow training here at Copper Mountain. So that is the big incentive to beat the heat. Become a skier or a snowboarder at some high level and just train all year.
So we're proud of what we've been doing for athletic training at all levels, starting with our junior athletes and all the way up to the most elite athletes. We've really been leaning into it, and we extend our season actually. After we close to public, we remain open in May and June. We've been running both slopestyle, halfpipe, and alpine training, so Michaela's come back out in the spring with the rest of the team and get more training in the spring. In the summer, we've been doing this for a long time, but our 10-week Woodward Summer Camp, it's been incredibly successful for us. It's also so much fun to bring athletes back and then also all of the young kids, 7 to 17, that come out 10 weeks throughout the summer. We don't stop that until August. So right now, September is the only month that we're not on snow at Copper. Aside from Woodward summer camps, we're bolstering summer operations and offer a lot more ways for people to get out and enjoy the mountain. We've got a ton of village activities going on, lots and lots of concerts and things of that nature. We're also expanding mountain biking at Copper. We closed out summer in a huge way. We had our second annual Union Peak Festival. We celebrated community, art, and sport. We brought live performances. We had ex-ambassadors, Cold War kids, and AJR at Copper at the end of the summer. It's been a great festival for us. We look forward to continuing that on into the future. It's an awesome summer at Copper, and here's actually a video on some of the summer events. Thank you. And another thing that's important to us at Copper is conservation of our environment, which we do through our Play Forever initiative. So Play Forever supports environmental and community causes. We're proud to say that we've raised almost $1 million since 2020 to help support our local efforts. And one of the ways we do that is we have Play Forever Thursdays, where you can buy a $99 lift ticket with a portion of that going to support some select charities in our area. So we had 16 different nonprofit partners, and it was exciting. We're excited to bring that back again for this winter. We also hosted a conservation summit at Copper, and we had other ski resorts invited to that. Happy that A Basin joined us for that, as well as local land managers, conservation organizations, and other companies in the name of sustainability. The goal of the summit is to build collaboration, share ideas, and best practices. Now, during our summit, we shared details from our latest sustainability effort, which is our soil sequestration project. Interesting, been doing it for a number of years and have a 10-year study underway on how we can absorb more toxic gases into the soil. We're also got some big development projects going on at Copper. We have resumed construction on our Mid-Mountain Lodge, so what was Solitude Station. We paused that project during COVID. We were excited to get restarted this past summer in a major way. When you're up there this year, you'll see significant improvement. It actually looks like a real building now. And we've got a new name for it, too. So Solitude has been retired, and the name of the new building will be the Eyrie. Now, an eyrie can be defined as a large nest of a bird of prey, especially an eagle, typically located high in a tree or on a cliff. So what better spot to have it than at the top of the American Eagle chairlift? We love it up there. It's a 25,000 square foot facility, 2-story building. The American Eagle gondola will unload at the second floor deck. It'll allow seamless transition for guests, even those arriving on foot. Full service casual restaurant, bar and lounge, private dining area for events, cafeteria, 180-degree views, looking at the surrounding peaks, recently named the new Camp Hale Monument. And this project will be the marquee on-mountain dining for Copper. We're excited about it. We know that you guys know where that's located. You'll be interested to see that this winter when you get up there. We also have an update on a new neighborhood going on in our East Village, so the Bourne Mountain Club. Our developer, Continuum, they've completed groundwork on the project. They did that last summer. Construction on single-family homes and townhomes is underway, going vertical. There's also a new entry and exit on Highway 91. The new development will include new snowmaking, also has a new boutique hotel, slopeside accommodations, a membership club with dining options that will be open to the public. And once completed, Bourne Mountain Club will be certainly a unique and upgraded addition to our Copper community. It's great. We're looking forward to it. We're also looking forward to improving on-mountain skiing and riding experiences. We have approval from the U.S. Forest Service to replace both Timberline and Lumberjack chairlifts. We're in discussion with Leitner Poma and Doppelmayr on when we can get that project completed. We don't have a timeline yet, but that will be imminent. We've added a new kids tree trail. So it's log chute on the west side of the mountain, part of our Western Territory expansion. It adds to new trails, Timberline Connect, Lyman Lane, Pinecone Alley, and trails that came out last winter. We also have Red's Backyard again this year. We're moving it up from the base area onto the mountain, so you'll notice that is new. We're looking to add new features to the Woodward Parks as well, so it'll be an exciting winter ahead. Now, let's take a look and see what's on tap for this 50th year milestone season coming up. We are excited to be celebrating 50 years at Copper Mountain, and we have a number of things going on. We're going to have a big party on December 3rd. We're going to have legendary figures coming back and visiting us. We're going to celebrate some unforgettable moments that have taken place over the years. We also have a commemorative coffee table book that's coming out, a lot of other swag, specialty items, and things that we're going to be celebrating throughout the season. So it's exciting for us. We're really looking forward to it. We're also looking forward to bringing more athletes back. We're going to have U.S. Grand Prix and Visa Big Air on December 14th through the 17th. We'll have IFSA Big Mountain competitions, which we hosted for the first time and was successful for us last year. It will take place in Copper Bowl. We'll also have USASA Nationals again in April at the end of the season. We're going to have free live music. We had a big part of who we are at Copper, and setting the stage with great lineup. We're going to have more frequency of events. We're aiming to do it as many weekends as we possibly can up at Copper. We'll also be having Subaru Winterfest, Copper Live, and a number of other events throughout the season. So, as I know many of the mountains are doing the same, we are all well underway with snowmaking at this point. We fired our guns up on October 4th. We're prepping the upper mountain for the upcoming race training. We're hoping to welcome racers back as soon as possible. They'll be here, I'll say the 22nd, but it got a little warm, so maybe might be a little bit after that, but it's coming up and we're looking forward to it. We open to the public November 14th. We want to see all of you out there. Thank you.
All right, 50th birthday. That's awesome. Next up, Breckenridge COO Jody Church, my friend, one of my favorite golf partners. And I want to give a special shout out to Jody. On Wednesday of this week, President Biden came to Colorado and he declared Camp Hell in the Continental Divide area as a national monument, the first in his administration. Come on up, Jody, but huge shout out to her. I called her a number of months ago working with Senator Bennett's office and said, look, Bennett's office and the president's office need to have a secret meeting with you. She's like, I don't know about this. And I said, it's going to be cool. But it was really to talk about how the 10-mile area through Breckenridge from Frisco up actually encompassing Quandary Peak would be part of a national monument. So huge shout out. Thank you for your support on that.
Yeah. Thank you, Elizabeth. It's all your hard work and dedication. So.
Thanks. Well, this picture, wow, love it. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, that's embarrassing. That's circa like 90s. Thanks, everyone. Great to be here. Yeah, I can't, let's get that thing off the screen. Holy cow. You know, it's funny. I don't know how many of you know this, but we just had a 3-day Vail Resorts Leadership Summit here at the Keystone Conference Center. And my throat's a little bit scratchy because I might have partied a little bit too hard on that Epic Achievement Award night. So anyway, we'll get on with it. I wanted to start today by sharing a story. And truly, it's a reflection of my first season at Breckenridge. And I couldn't have gotten through this season without really sharing my gratitude for that table right over there. Please stand up, Breckenridge team. You guys are the heart and soul of this resort. Wow, I could truly talk about COVID and all of the challenges that we had this year. But I'm going to tell you a little bit of a personal story, and it happened over Thanksgiving weekend. And I was, had some leadership changes going on, and I became not only the COO, but I was also the acting ski school director. Had a little bit of experience. I was leading that department in Park City before I came to Summit County. And so I walked up to Peak 8, and I was in the children's zone, and I said, how can I help? And the team said, well, if you'd love to take the sick and sad children, we'll give them to you. And so I knelt down on the ground, took all the little sad ones, and we set out. And there were gloves and helmets and goggles everywhere. And I had been there before, so I knew I could do it. I wasn't sure how I was gonna do it, but I did it. Anyway, the story goes like this. There was this little boy named Costa, and he did not speak English, but he understood English. And so I got down on his level, right? And I'm like trying to coerce him into skiing, and he was having none of it. So I brought out Ripperoo, little stuffed animal. This'll do the trick. Not happening. He did know how to say Papa, so I knew he really desperately wanted his dad. And I was gonna give myself about 15, 20 minutes to get him under control, and if not, I was just gonna call his dad, right? Like, that's what we should do. So anyway, little Costa wasn't having Ripperoo. So secretly in my back pocket, and if you ever look at our uniforms, we have this big pocket in the back, and I had a packet of Skittles. I pulled out the Skittles. It was the trick I knew how to use in children's ski school, and sure enough, I made a little Skittles happy face in the snow. And I said, if you put your helmet on, you can grab one of the eyes of the Skittles. And sure enough, eventually we got him on skis. 2 days later, I saw his dad, and he on Peak 9, skiing down Silverthorn Trail, fully crushing it. And it was my shining moment in my first year at Breck. It was like, taught that little boy how to ski and just set me up, and I couldn't be more grateful to the team for putting me into that position. It helped me understand Breck from the inside out, like truly learning how to work with the team hands-on. So that was my beginning at Breck, and I wanted to share that story. My goal really joining the Breckenridge team was to just listen and learn and find out what we really wanted to put our efforts toward. And I think that something I'm really, really proud of is we just launched a full-time, year-round licensed childcare for our employees at Breckenridge. Super proud. Thank you for that. Yeah, really exciting. We've hired our director, we've hired the assistant director, we're gonna be staffed. It feels and looks really good. We're just waiting for our licensing to go through the state channels. The next thing I wanted to announce today is a partnership that we have formed around after-school care for children. And this is focused on working parents in this community. And one of the critical needs that I learned is that we really do need to focus on how our working parents can go to work and have safe places for their kids. So obviously I have a theme here, I'm all about kids. Anyway, we are launching a $750,000 contribution to Spinning Up with the Summit Foundation and Summit School District and after-school care program. It's launching. We're announcing it today here. And so thank you, Tamara Pogue, where are you? You've been a great help in this. There you are. Elizabeth Lawrence, child care. The town of Breck, Kelly Owens, I had meetings, and that was the one thing people kept, it's what I kept hearing is we need more care for our kids. So that's what we're doing. So I'm really excited about that. I also want to talk about another exciting program, and I think it was Rob that talked about it, is the Snow Staying program coming up from Denver. We want to take cars off the road. And so we are partnering, we're in the process of partnering with the town of Breckenridge to bring snow staying into Breck. So that's another big one for us. So excited about that. I couldn't stand up here without thanking additional partners. I'm on the board for the BOEC. Sonia and Jeff, you're out there somewhere. You guys run an amazing adaptive program, so just want to shout out to you as well. All right, we're going to get past this first slide, I promise you. So we're going to take a look back right now, hopefully. Here we go. All right, we'll take a quick look back at the season. We had Wake Up Breck. We brought that back. Excited we're bringing it back again this year. We launched the new Freedom Super Chair on Peak 7 this year. What a great game changer for us. It totally improved our flow and circulation on Peak 6 and 7. Thank you, John Bueller. You put that thing into motion before I got there. It's been awesome. We celebrated Trigby's 90th anniversary. One of those pictures, that one just under the word Trigby's, we all skied down Springmire together, and it was truly a moment. It was super emotional. It was really cool. He turned 90 years old, and so that was so fun. We brought back our spring pond skim event. We did our Big Mountain Challenge. We did the ribbon cutting for the South Gondola parking lot, which is a huge partnership with us in the town of Breck. Just a really great year of new things that have happened. So excited about that. And then we opened for summer. I'm not sure, was it summer? It felt like it rained every day. We had so much weather up at the mountain. We had a great summer. We did have to move some of our summer activities around just because we are, and I will talk about chairlifts and bathrooms today, by the way. It's in there. But anyway, summer was great. We had a great season. We did move some of our attractions, and we're now into snowmaking season, and we are going to fire up. Our plan is to fire up on Monday. But this picture on the left is really cool. John Anacito with the helmet there on the left. He's our snowmaking manager. He's also expanding his role this year to oversee water management. But those are 100 new snow guns, low energy, high efficiency snow guns that we put on the mountain this year, so super exciting. And then Rips Ride, really exciting. I'm gonna show you in the background here. This is our Rips Ride installation, a new quad chair that's going in on Peak 8. Al, where are you? I waited 3 hours for the helicopter to finish up at A Basin. And they finally made it to Breckenridge, and they were in and out. We actually flew 7 towers, and it happened in 30 minutes. It was actually one of the coolest things that I've seen. So you can see it happening here. They set the tower, then the cross arms, and our lift maintenance crew and the POMA crew chase up those towers and do all the bolting. It's just an absolute amazing thing to watch. So that happened. Let's see, we also started on our Peak 8 Reimagine. We have taken down our sprung structure and the kids' castle, and that's all in preparation. We are planning to put in a new high-speed quad chair at Chair 5 next summer, which will put us at all high-speed lifts at all of our base areas, which is pretty exciting. And then, let's see. Going to talk a little bit about what's coming up for the season. So just, with the new Chair 5, it's really all about bringing in an improved experience for our beginners and true progression. So going from our moving carpets to our new Rips Ride and then off to Chair 5. And then get them onto Colorado and the Rocky Chair. Right now, the flow and navigation, people just see those 2 chairs and they want to get on them. And so we really want to get people in the right ability levels at the right chairlifts. So that's what's coming up there. Just as a reminder, we are auctioning off our chairlifts for Rips Ride on Monday. That auction is a donation. We are contributing that money to the Search and Rescue, as well as the Summit Foundation and Epic Promise. So super excited for that as well. All right. All right. So just to wrap up for Breck, I just want to say this season is all about our employees, and my job is really to serve and lead that team and this community to the best of our ability. So our plan is to be fully staffed and get back to what we think is like whatever normal is anymore, so a normal season. So we're excited for that. We are planning Wake Up Breck will be on November 10th, and we are scheduled to open on November 11th. So really excited, come on out. We're here to serve you. We're excited for a great season, and thank you so much.
Thank you, Jody. All right, next we've got a man that holds 3 titles in Summit County. He's definitely the best dancer. I think he's the happiest man in Summit County, and his commitment to our environment is unrivaled. Let me introduce Alan Hensroth from Arapahoe Basin. Wow. Which one are you?
I think I got cropped out of that.
Okay. I'm like, I don't know that I recognize.
Not sure how that happened. Jody, sorry about the delay on the helicopter. Rob, thank you so much for mentioning Patrick. You know, he's worked at the basin for 33 years. He's our risk manager, was the patrol director. Today's his last day. We're not using the word retirement, but he's moving on to the next phase of his life. So thanks for pointing that out. I'm just curious, who else in the room has held the Stanley Cup? Couple, all right. That was a really exciting day, the photo. And when the Avs first won the cup, I think that was '96, the Rocky Mountain News brought it up to the basin. We were still open for skiing for a photo shoot. That was very, very fun. Let's look at the first slide, or the first video. Boy, for this group in particular, we really want everyone to know about the great summer program we have up at the Basin. I mean, we've been working on this for many, many years now, and we've been hitting a home run on weddings for a while, but we've added some fantastic activities. Our Via Ferrata is so cool. You got to get up there and try it sometime. The Aerial Adventure Park is a place where just about everybody can have some fun. And you saw some great bike videos here. We've built this trail called the Beavers Loop, and like so many things we do, we're trying to be intentionally different. And we are not doing lift-serve biking, but we've got this great 10, 11-mile loop now. The single-track portion of it, the descent portion, is fully complete, and about half of the ascent is complete. You can ride the road for the rest. It is the coolest trail ever. We opened it for about 2 or 3 weeks right at the end of the fall. We brought all kinds of bike media up and other bike influencers, and the report is fantastic. So make sure you come up and ride this trail. Come up and do other stuff. We do wildflower hikes. We do yoga at Black Mountain Lodge. We do all kinds of races and other fun things. So I hope to see all of you up there in the summertime. All right, let's watch one more video.
All right, I'm ready to go. Dropping. Ooh-wee, that was dreamy. I kind of wanted to point it, but the turns were too good.
I think my favorite part of this day is getting to hear what Dustin and Jody and Rob and Chris have to say about their upcoming season. We are psyched. We have a big new lift coming in, and it's the Lenawee Express. It's a 6-person detachable Leitner Poma lift. This is going to be really great for us. The old Lenawee lift was kind of our one bottleneck on the hill, so this is going to help that a ton. I think we have the newest lift system in the country. The oldest lift at Arapahoe Basin is Zuma in Montezuma Bowl, and to me, that feels like it went in yesterday almost. But we have an incredible new lift system. This Lenawee Express, in conjunction with Black Mountain Express, those two big lifts fit right in the core of where most of our skiers are, and it is going to make a tremendous difference. We are so excited about it. And we're kind of heading for a mid-November opening on that lift. We'll see. So. Last season, we opened Stahlhung Hut for about a month. Great, cool place, kind of a boutique little restaurant, serving sausages and strudel and pretzels and German beer. Really fun. Make sure you get up there and check that out. And also at the Summit, Il Refugio, our restaurant at the top, is back. We expanded it also. It didn't open last year, but now it's about twice as big. It's going to go to table service, and we've really brightened up and improved the interior of that also. So make sure you check that out. We're bringing back a lot of our food and beverage events that we kind of lost through COVID. The Moonlight Dinner Series is going to be back in good form. Our Friday night supper clubs in the 6th Alley are going to be back. And we're even going to do on May 6th, so Chris, I think we're committed to doing it now. On May 6th, we're going to do a randonnée progressive dinner, so people will skin up to the summit. The first course is going to be in Il Refugio. The second course is going to be in Stahlhung Hut. The third course, the entree, will be in Black Mountain Lodge, and we'll finish the night off in the 6th Alley for dessert. So we got really cool things going on in food and beverage, like we always do. And our kids club programs, they took a tough hit through COVID, between unvaccinated kids and indoor spaces. It was really hard to do those programs to the level that we wanted to do them. But Kids Club is back. It's going to be in top form. Great chance to get your kids out, put them in the program for the day so you can go skiing all day at the basin. We got to talk about public transportation. We got to talk about carpooling. Those are two places that we as a community really went backwards in COVID, and we have to do better at this. Bus ridership is way down, carpooling's way down. Everyone needs to do better on this. A big Saturday, a powder day. Guys, grab a couple more people when you come up to the ski area. A lot of the parking problems we have are self-inflicted wounds. Really make an effort to do this. Encourage your friends in the city to come up on the snow stang, but we have to do better here. And don't forget summer. It's been 2.5 years since George Floyd died and really created a very intense situation for our world. We're going to continue to focus on diversity and equity and inclusion at the basin. We hired a consultant to help guide us and teach us and work through this issue, help us to understand this issue. We did surveys with our employees. We learned a lot, and maybe, our actions weren't quite as inclusive as we thought they were. So we've learned to do a lot of good things. We're doing lots of training with our team. We've created a great partnership with a group called Blackpackers. We had one of our wildest events, our Pride Day on closing weekend last year, which was just crazy. But this is something all of us need to work on. The world is changing. We need to welcome everybody to our resorts. And we can't forget about this. We cannot forget about this. Sustainability continues to be top of the list for us too. Our goal to be carbon neutral by 2025 is still very much in front of us. We're 68% carbon neutral now. We're working our way there. We're working really closely with Excel to help us develop programs, but this continues to be big for us. And we took that big jump, like I know many of you in the room did, and brought our starting wage up to $20 an hour. You know, I think Aspen last spring and then Vail followed suit. Those two organizations were really the leaders for us in making this jump. And it's been a great benefit for us. Our recruiting has been the best it's been in years. And for Chris and Jody in your company and Kirsten Lynch, you know, I think we all owe you a thank you, because as difficult as this has been as the manager of a resort, how difficult it's been to work through, this is a change that had to happen, and we needed to make an adjustment. So thank you guys for doing that, and thanks for being the leader for us. So back in 2019, we kind of threw our business plans up in the air and started over again, and we came up with a model to do fewer skiers, to improve the yield on those skiers, to make a better experience for those skiers and a better experience for our guests, ultimately with the intention of better bottom line for us. And it's been successful. Last year, despite getting pummeled by Omicron over Christmas, we had the best year we've ever had. And the Ski Magazine rankings just came out yesterday. I don't know if you had a chance to see them, and it's a reader survey kind of ranking. And we moved way up in the rankings in lots of areas, 13 in best in the West. I think my favorite was we were number 4 for overall satisfaction, still in a great place at affordability. And I think these rankings are helping affirm for us that we're taking the right steps and we're on the right track to do well here. Okay, I think Ralph this morning did a really good job presenting the headwinds in front of us. It's a little bit of a scary time, but I learned a long time ago to never underestimate how much people want to ski. Never underestimate people's desire to ski. And as we look forward to this year, you know, pass sales on all levels are doing really well. The excitement's really high. We couldn't be more excited about the season coming. I think we have the best staff we've ever had, the best team we've ever had. The mountain looks great. We got great new facilities. And I just think we're in a good place, and I can't wait for it to get a little bit colder and get open and see all you guys out skiing. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Alan, and to your team at A Basin. Next, we have our fearless host resort today, Keystone, Chris Sorensen. I'll never let him live this down, but he is Mr. Cosmopolitan 2005. True story, y'all. He's now a happily married man, but let me tell you, he was the most eligible bachelor according to Cosmopolitan Magazine 2005. Here we are 17 years later. Chris Sorensen.
Good morning. Thanks for that warm welcome. Wow. I sent a few photos over. That's the one we picked. That's at the base of Peak 9 at Breck. Probably 2001. It's the ski outfit. You might not know this, but American Eagle for one season sold ski outfits. And I thought I was cool. And I did not know how to snowboard at all.
Winter is coming.
What are you doing?
Winter is coming.
It's August.
No, winter is coming.
Yeah, it's coming. So like most of the other resorts, snowmaking has started at Keystone, which is always my favorite time of the year when we can start putting white stuff on the ground. And so, yeah, winter is coming very, very quickly. So real quick, summer recap for us. So as you can see, summer was filled with cooling off the top of the mountain on our snow tubing, or taking laps on our bike park, or riding horses over at the Keystone stables, as well as relaxing by our lake. We kicked off summer the right way by hosting a community on-mountain and off-mountain cleanup. We had quite a few volunteers show up to help us clean up the Valley of Keystone. K&C festivals were back in River Run this summer, kicking it off with the bacon and bourbon, my favorite. Hope you enjoyed the bacon that we had for breakfast this morning here. And they set the tone for a rocking summer for us. All summer long, K&C was throwing a variety of signature events like comedy nights, Mountain Town Music Festival Series, wine and jazz, and then ending the summer with Oktoberfest, which was also a really fun event. So Bergman. As you all know, Keystone was very busy working on Bergman for the first half of the summer. And I was hoping that today my update would be a little bit different, but it's not. So Keystone paused our lift service access in Bergman and Erickson Bowl for the 22-23 season. Unfortunately, we weren't able to install our chairlift this summer. Although we paused temporarily in early July, there was a lot of work happening on Bergman. We continue to work very closely with the Forest Service to do the work in certain aspects of the project, and we're optimistic that Bergman Express will go in next summer. We do take accountability for the mistake made during the summer construction, and we're doing everything in our power to combat any further environmental impacts. We created and completed a restoration plan that is one of the most thorough in the U.S. Forest Service's history that they've ever seen. And I'm happy to say that we've already got native growth in some of the impacted areas that took place up there this year. So even prior to groundbreaking for the project, we took a team up and started doing seed collecting. We did this last summer. We've done it twice this summer. And the plan is that we're going to replant so that we can preserve the ecosystem up there with the seeds that we've collected up in that area. So the hope is that once we put the lift in, we'll be able to use those seeds in that area. So Timber Ridge Lodge. So we have continued the expansion of the Timber Ridge Lodge. That will open this winter, hopefully sometime just before Thanksgiving is our plan to get that open. But yeah, we're able to expand our already largest on-mountain restaurant by adding another 254 seats and then about 75 seats outside on our deck and expanding the deck. And so I'm excited to say that that progress is going really, really well. So changes to the village. Right next to the River Run Gondola will be home to Keystone's newest premier luxury development, Kindred Resorts. Kindred will feature ski in, ski out residency as well as a Rock Resorts hotel and bring unique features and amenities new to Keystone. It will also be the home of our ski and ride school, and so we're excited to have that complete so that ski and ride school can move into there. You'll also notice that the Gold Bug parking lot on the other side of the River Run Village will also be under construction this winter with more details to come. So a recap of last year. Last year was successful. We had an amazing year at Keystone, and it's because of our employees and the work that they put in to help make experiences for all the guests that came and visited us. So, as Jody mentioned earlier, we're focused on our employees, the people who make it all possible. And this last year in Summit County, the Epic Promise Foundation has provided more than $133,000 in emergency relief grants to our employees that work here. We also provided $62,500 in scholarships to our employees and to their family members. In total, the Emergency Relief Foundation, in the years that it's been around, has provided $836,466 in emergency relief grants to employees that live right here in Summit County that needed a little extra assistance. So I'm really, really proud of that work. On the guest side of things, we unveiled a new high-speed chairlift Peru Express over at the Mountain House base area, which greatly enhanced the uphill capacity of that base area, flow, allowed people to get to beginner and intermediate skiing, and really livened up the Mountain House base area. So that's it. Yeah, you weren't supposed to see that video. I should have reviewed the videos, not just read the script. Winter's coming, and we're really, really, really excited about it. And like everyone said, snowmaking's going on. We fired up snowmaking on our base area last night. This weekend looks really, really good with temperatures. So extremely excited to be kicking off the season. I'm excited to announce that Keystone's opening day will be as soon as Mother Nature allows us. So our sustainability efforts at Vail Resorts, and it's great to hear the other resorts and what they're doing to help create a sustainable effort because we're all fighting climate change. And so Vail Resorts reached an 85% renewable electricity this year, thanks to our investment in the Plum Creek wind farms that are in Nebraska. Despite the temporary switch to single-use items over COVID, we're happy to announce that we're going back to things that we can wash and not the one-time use throw in the trash. But we were able to recycle 9.8 million pounds of waste last year and reduce our total waste by 483 tons compared to the previous season, which is a lot. 483 tons. Vail Resorts has contributed over $1.5 million to the WRNF Ski Conservation Fund in 2021. Of which over $700,000 will be invested in 2022 projects, and remains committed to working with the communities of Eagle and Summit County to ensure that these funds are invested in transformative projects that align with the community priorities. In Summit County, this money is being used for local trail maintenance, public outreach, and donated to local youth education programs like the Friends of Dillon Ranger District and winter backcountry safety education programs. Through our partnership with the National Forest Foundation, we're dedicated to creating sustainable recreational opportunities on Colorado White River National Forest while protecting the incredible natural landscape surrounding our resorts. We are also actively tracking and reporting this data in a more meaningful process, and our new progress report, our quarterly progress report, will be coming out in November. So please check it out. There's some really exciting news that's going to be in there. So off-mountain activities. One of Keystone's most unique features is that we're really a one-stop shop for family fun, and this winter we're excited to get back to full service on and off the mountain. Keystone offers something for everyone to enjoy. If you're not a skier or snowboarder, we have a world-class Nordic center where you can Nordic ski or snowshoe. We've got scenic sleigh rides that also include dinner, and ice skating on our large lake with unbelievable views. So, like some of the other resorts, we have partnered with SOS Outreach. We're focused on family here, and that means skiing and riding for every family. Our partnership helps bring local youth to our resorts. And so I'm happy to say that last year we brought over 300 kids to Keystone and Breck from Denver and Summit County. And for the upcoming season, we're projecting to bring over 561 kids to our resorts to be able to experience skiing and snowboarding, some for the very first time, which is amazing, and we're very, very happy to be partnered with SOS to be able to bring that experience to those kids. So with SOS, We're using the mountain to make a long-lasting impact on young people's lives by facilitating positive relationships and increasing sense of belonging, and helping them develop strong character and applying core values and community service. So, this year, what's on tap? We've got a lot of great things this year that are going to happen at Keystone. So, we're going to reopen the Last Lift Bar at Mountain House Base area and bring the après party back to that. Some claps, appreciate it. I'm excited for it too. I'm sure my ski school team is really excited for it, since it's right next to the locker room. Also, like Jody, we are bringing childcare. We won't have a year-round facility, but we are bringing childcare back this year so that parents can drop their kids off and get out on the slopes and not have to worry. So on mountain, night ski will be coming back. Keystone is one of the only places that you can night ski in the county, and we're very excited to be bringing that back this year. Cat ski, we will be doing shuttle cat skis into Bergman and Erickson Bowl. Those tours will leave right behind the outpost, and so excited to have that so that people are able to access the terrain in Bergman, where we have been able to cut quite a few trees down and prepare ourselves to finish the project hopefully next year. And then Snow Fort. This year, we're not going to have one snow fort, we're going to have two. So really excited to have the world's largest snow fort come back to the top of the mountain, and then we'll have a snow fort down in the base area next to the Last Lift Bar. You can play after you've had a couple beers. Awesome. So in closing, if all these videos you've seen today haven't got you stoked for winter, go to any of our mountains and check out the snowmaking guns going. Like, you should be extremely excited because winter is coming and we're ready for it, all of us. And so I do want to take the time to thank the Conference Center and the teams that have worked all week long, because like Jody said, we've been here with the Leadership Summit for 3 days. I think they've gotten probably 8 hours of sleep all week. I asked if they had bunk beds, but thank you. Huge round of applause for the conference team for the breakfast this morning. And then the chamber. This is such a fun event. It's great to see everybody, get stoked for the season, connect, catch up, because hopefully the next time we see everyone, it's going to be on the slopes. So thank you.
Thanks, Chris, and thanks, Keystone, for being such a great host. Pancake flambe. That was amazing. All right, earlier this spring, I thought my time has come. Everyone in Summit County seems to have a new body part that they got from the orthopedist. So I go in to see my friends at Panorama, and I was convinced, only to be talked off the ledge after I was already planning surgery and just told that it was simply middle age. So, saying all that, very competent folks there, love them, and so let me welcome Dr. Aaron Black from Panorama.
Well, thank you all. We always enjoy being part of this every year. We're going into our 5th ski season here, and we're more than happy to be here, and this has always been one of our greatest events. It's something I look forward to every fall, and it says that we're getting to this part of the year. We've had an awesome time since we opened working with St. Anthony's Summit and being their partner, taking care of the other end of the ski trips that people come here to visit. And in general, we have a really, I've always had such a positive and amazing event here, and you guys do such a great job. We have made it our mission and our goal here to provide top-class orthopedic care to every member of this county. And we work really hard with all of the ski patrols and the employees and everything else, and have had a great time taking care of everybody who helps make you guys successful as well, and we appreciate this wonderful thing. This picture, which they found, is from 2001 at A Basin in June. And the really fun fact about this is those yellow skis are original Salomon 1080s that I had just gotten. It was my first day. And the end of this day ended pond skimming. And one of them, I think, is still at the bottom of that pond. I'm not actually kidding. The other one's a shot ski now, but neither here nor there. But enough about this. I really appreciate the opportunity again for us to be here, and thank you guys so much and for everything that you guys do. And at this point, I'd like to ask all the COOs and Elizabeth and Ralph to join us on stage for the COO Roundtable. Thank you all so much, and I'm looking forward to the season just as much as everybody else.
Dr. Black, and while our COOs are coming up, we are going to go to a short ad break so you can see all of our great sponsors, and we appreciate that. We would not be here without them, so thank you, and we'll be with you shortly.
Are you looking to understand how living at high altitude affects your health and quality of life? Then you'll want to join the Healthy Summit study through the High Altitude Research Center. Please visit harksummit.org to fill out a 20-minute survey today.
Hey Summit County, this is Karen Frazier, owner of Summit Bar and Fitness in Frisco. We joined the Chamber about 2 months ago, and it has opened up brand new opportunities and brought us new clients in just 2 short months. Wish we had joined it sooner.
Hi, I'm Tony with iFurnish. Kelly and I started it in 2005 to offer the mountain communities a fashionable, affordable way of purchasing furniture. We look forward to serving you and helping you find the best piece of furniture for your home.
Crystal 93, the only Summit County radio station reporting local news, weather changes,
dry conditions,
road conditions,
westbound traffic coming up to the mountain.
We're crystal clear in Summit County, playing the music you love. Your news and highway information station, Crystal 93.
Adventure, relaxation, family, memories, and outdoors. This is what we search for in a mountain property. In the mountains, not all property information is found online. Let a mountain guide help you find your way to a new home. Looking to buy or sell in Summit County, Colorado? You wouldn't go on a challenging hike with a guide that has never been on the mountain. You would want a knowledgeable, experienced guide to take you on a safe and successful hike. A mountain property calls for a mountain guide. Let a Summit Realtor be your resource for local knowledge.
Hi, I'm Elizabeth Miller, or Ebeth, as some of you may know me. I am with Effective, the video advertising division of Comcast, and we work with many of you here in the room on your advertising campaigns. So first off, thank you so much for allowing us the chance to work with your businesses. I've been here in Summit County over 20 years, worked in media for most of that time, and I just have to say thank you to the Summit Chamber and the work that they do in allowing me a place to grow my professional networks and ultimately find business success here in Summit County where I want to live. You know, it's been through events and opportunities like getting to volunteer alongside other business owners to help a nonprofit, or to greet new business owners coming into our community through the ambassador program. You know, or maybe we met at a mixer and I get to learn about you and your business and what's new with you and your family. You know, it's vital to our community to have places where we can make these connections, and I think it's what makes the Summit County business community strong. So thank you so much, Summit Chamber, for hosting this wonderful breakfast and all the other events you do throughout the year.
In Colorado, the active life in Summit County can mean you versus a hurt wrist that won't reel in that big catch, and foot pain that sidelines your game. Our team is fellowship trained in sports medicine, joint replacement, hand and upper extremity, spine, and trauma, and we offer the most inclusive orthopedic care in the mountain communities. Here at Panorama, we're on Team Eric, Team Zadie, and Team You. Learn more at summitorthopanorama.com. Feel better. Do more.
All right, welcome back, y'all. Thank you for sticking with us. We know we're a little bit over time, but you had so much great stuff to hear about from our COOs. Now we want to give them a chance in a little bit more intimate, conversational way, because we do. We're all collaborative here, part of the same team, and making sure Summit County is absolutely the best place for skier visits, not only in Colorado, I'm going to say across the world. Love it. All right, elephant in the room. No, it's not the number of tattoos that Chris Sorensen has. The real elephant in the room, who is going to open first?
Well, I'll take that. Because last year, I got on stage and talked a lot that we were going to be the first ones open after the 2019 season in A Basin, beating Keystone by a couple hours the night before. So, Alan, you won last year, and I got you a trophy.
All right.
Oh, wow, a gold star trophy. Congrats.
Yeah. Congratulations.
So why does it matter on who opens first? I mean, I know we used to see Nate Dogg with 10 Gs or whatever his name was, right? That would always do the opening day, but why does it matter? I think he's retired now, by the way.
You know, it's fun.
It is fun.
It gets people talking. It starts the season. You know, for us, maybe there was a time when being first maybe really mattered. Now it's just kind of fun. And you know, in the end, I don't think it matters to our business who opens first. Yeah. The point is getting open. And just for us, things are infinitely better once people are skiing again. Yeah. And, you know, we just want to get open as soon as we can. And that's always going to be our goal. It's just fun.
Yeah, I would agree. It's amazing for the industry. It doesn't matter which one of us gets open first. Like, Summit County is kicking off the North American ski season for the country. And so getting people stoked across the United States to ski, and jealous that they don't live in Summit County and they have to wait another month or two before their local hill will get open. So yeah, I don't think it matters who gets open first, because it's great for the industry and the sport.
Dustin, I know that you're not technically open to the public first, but technically you're open to the athletes first. Wouldn't you say that?
Yeah, it's fun to hear Chris and Alan, you know, figure out how to get open first. But yeah, we're
and Rob, don't leave out Rob.
Yeah. We'll see. We'll be skiing here really soon, so it's exciting. And if you work at Copper, it's exciting because we'll get up there. So.
One point from the marketplace standpoint, and let's keep in mind that most of this coming winter's guests have yet to make their reservations for the winter season. They're feeling the same uncertainty about the marketplace and the overall economy that we all are, and a positive indicator sign that the season has begun really turns on the reservation systems and the advanced reservation data. You saw that we have holes coming up in the forthcoming winter season, people waiting for an indicator, and Summit County, Colorado is uniquely qualified to hold that place as the high altitude, most reliable snow, dependable ski center. And you've heard me some in previous years try to claim that the combined skier visits of all of these resorts is unparalleled, beating Utah, beating Vermont, and the like. I continue to try to run those numbers, the most skiing around, the most lifts and the such. I can't quite add the numbers together, but the critical mass of what you have together is insane. And by the way, you guys are looking marvelous. This is really an astonishing group. I just had to throw that in there. Yeah, and so it's on me. We've been hearing, ever since Peter Jasowicz mentioned the new normal, 7 years ago. You know, whether we were normal, not normal, back to normal, some of us here probably have never been normal. But I noticed that each of you talked about what you're reintroducing that you hadn't been able to over the last couple of years. So just a little conversation about how close are we back to, maybe not the old normal, but a new normal, as we find demand is strong, but we're apparently able to start building supply and building services back that we'd like to be offering in the process. Each of you made a small comment, at least, as you went through your prepared comments, but my question to you, how close are we back to normal, and how different is it from the old normal? Jump ball to anybody.
I'll take it first. I think the guest expectations have changed. And so to say normal 5 years ago is not the normal today. You know, COVID changed us as a society and how we show up and our expectations and how safe we may feel. And so I think we're all working hard to get back to servicing the guests in a way we wanted to and may have not been able to during COVID. But as far as like normal, you know, I think with having the staff, having the snow, and creating those experiences for the guests is going to be important. And we're all adding things back and doing, you know, some things that we may not have done for a year or two because of code restrictions. But yeah, I would say we're happy to have a semi-normalish year in operations.
Yeah.
Normalish.
I would also add on to that. We've said no to our guests for the last 2 years. Put your mask on, reservations, and we are not doing that anymore. We're saying yes to the guest as we go in. So that would be back to normal. I would also say, you know, our food and beverage and mountain dining experiences have been challenged. It's been hard taking reservations and asking for vaccinations and those types of things. And we're going back to full menus, full outlet operations, and I'm excited for that. We're even piloting at Breck a new taco experience up at Pioneer Crossing. So just super excited to have that full experience back, not just that limited experience.
You know, similar. I think we're getting closer, but again, what normal is going to be in the future is hard to say. We'd be naive to think that, I mean, something weird is going to happen this year. We don't know what it is. And I know we're trying to be more stable and prepare for that, but you know, there is still a lot of tentativeness to all that we're doing, and we want to, like these guys just said, we don't want to say no anymore. That was a drag, and so hopefully it can be normal, and hopefully whatever happens in the next 12 months, we'll figure our way through.
The new normal.
The new normal.
All right, we're going to have an easy one. This is like a lightning round popcorn. Do y'all have a few more minutes? I mean, we've got some good questions. Yes, seen some head nods. Okay, captive audience, this is real easy. Rob, we're going to start with you. What's your favorite trail to ski at Loveland?
My favorite trail, I would say...
is it like picking a favorite kid? I thought this would be really easy.
it really is, because every in the morning things ski differently than the afternoon, and where do you want to go? But one called Richard's Run from the top of Ched Stream, just nice, wide open. First run of the day, we always try to use it to get warmed up, and it just has a beautiful groom on it. Cruise all the way down to the bottom. You feel just perfect.
All right, Alan, what about you?
Easy, the spine on Poly.
Okay, you know it. Okay, we'll have to do that. Chris?
Bergman.
Peak 6, every run.
Every run on Peak 6?
Love it over there.
The taco off Tucker Mountain.
Aha, good win, good win. All right, Ralph.
All right, over to me. One thing that came up in my conversation was a little bit of a question to you, the group and the audience, about how well we play together. Individually and within Summit County, the fraternity is obvious and palpable in the overall marketplace. But Jody, that came up in our conversations prior to about Summit County playing well together. Is that a strength or weakness? It is a controllable. So how do you think we play together compared to others? And what does that do for us or to us?
Well, I mean, really, I'm going to shout out to Mayor Mamula and Rick Holman and Elizabeth. We are solving problems together. And I feel like this community is working toward a common goal. And as I watch some of the other communities in mountain towns, there's a lot of finger pointing going on. And I think that what is really a benefit for us is that we're able to look at a vision together. And whether it's housing or sustainability, DEI, we're solving problems together. And I think that's the most important thing. Yeah.
Other comments?
Ditto.
Yeah.
Yeah, agree with that. Well said.
A phrase suddenly came to mind, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. Don't know where it came from. But maybe Summit County is benefiting from that. It's certainly from the cheap seats in the grandstand, with my view of others in the industry, it really is strategic and you really are pulling well together.
And I think
so good on you all.
You know, everyone has to listen to each other. And it's not just one single way to solve a problem, right? You're not going to solve a problem inside a problem. You got to take a step back and really evaluate it. And that's what I've been doing since I got to Summit County is just let's listen to each other, figure out what the critical needs are, and then come together to figure out how to solve.
All right, technology in the ski industry. Some of you have started to turn more towards that, whether good or bad. But tell us, what's an example of technology for good that you guys have used at your resort or you're planning to use this upcoming year? You know, I have a teenager, so all the new tech stuff is pretty exciting and cool. She has to train me on it, but.
Yeah, I think one thing that we're using at Vail Resorts is we announced a few weeks ago that your cell phone will be your lift ticket and that we'll use low-frequency Bluetooth to be able to access the lift. How many times do you get to the resort and you forgot your pass in your other jacket at home? And you got to wait in line to get a new pass printed to be able to get on the chairlift? Have you ever forgot your cell phone at home? No. And so having your pass loaded, and the technology's out there, and so we're working through that. We're going to pilot this year with our employees and then roll it out to the guests next year, but I think it'll be really sweet technology, and someone will have to show me how to do it as well.
Chris, I heard some people talking about, but that's a pain in the butt, right? You got to pull your phone out, you got to show the QR code and the like. Maybe we have that wrong. Clarify.
Yeah, great question. You do not have to take your cell phone out of your pocket. It'll scan via Bluetooth, and so you'll walk up just like you currently do with your RF pass, and we'll be able to scan straight through your jacket, your pocket, and you can go straight onto the chairlift.
Alan, I think you guys had some new technology. Was it last year that you started? It's really about improving the guest experience, right?
Yeah, and I think for us, and we have some inherent challenges on technology, just being at the end of the line, and then just pure capacity of.
You mean we need broadband up there?
We do.
Yeah.
We do. But we're doing our best. You know, the biggest thing we've done of late was go to the RFID scanners, and that just helps in so many ways. And listening to Vail's announcement about going to phones, you know, we're paying really close attention, and I don't know, in the coming years, we're going to keep trying to be better, and I think there's going to be more advancements happening quickly, and we're even talking about watching, and maybe we're going to skip a couple and jump a couple, but it's a big deal. Even at a place like A Basin, everyone expects it.
So at Loveland, we will definitely wait for a couple more advances. You all have a old school lift ticket in your bag.
Hole puncher?
Totally transferable.
The sticker with the little metal.
Yeah,
the sticker.
The wicket. Sticky wicket.
Go ahead, Ralph. I'm sorry.
No worries. With staffing and supply side shortages, a lot of companies, mountain resorts included, are turning to technology to augment staffing challenges, that have been difficult and be able to better sustain things. That shows up in some elements that you're talking about. Are there anything specifically that you guys are doing where technology is a surrogate or augments staffing? Makes you less dependent, perhaps?
You know what? One thing we're doing, we also have several kiosks now for ticket sales. And we don't actually sell tickets day of at the skier anymore. We went to online advanced ticket sales. But using the kiosk for people to pick up their tickets. They can bypass the window. And we're shifting staff from less at the windows, but just to be out in the plaza to direct people towards the kiosk, because they often need a little coaching still. And so we're hoping ultimately that's going to lead to a reduction in staff, but we're certainly changing what staff is doing as a result.
Fair enough.
Dustin, your first industry job, and we mean the ski industry.
Wow, my first job in the industry was actually working in the finance department at Vail Resorts in Broomfield.
Okay, all right.
I was actually a marketing intern, and I was a snow reporter for the marketing.
A snow reporter? Mm-hmm. Did you ever exaggerate that?
Of course. Yes. But you actually, back in the day, I'm probably going to date myself, but you actually walked out to the snow stake to see how much
Yeah, there
really
wasn't
did
like
snow.
a camera on it 24/7.
Yeah,
right?
I probably just dated myself. I'm sorry.
Chris, you were a lifty, right?
Yeah, lift operator, ticket scanner.
Oh, lift operator.
I did both.
So as we pulled in and parked this morning, my wife reminded me that my first job was a bellman right over here at the lodge, parking cars in this parking lot, and carrying luggage into the lodge.
That explains the tie.
Yep,
I get it now.
Well, that came a little later. That was early.
Yeah. I remember those days.
Well, I know where you were doing too, so.
So my first job was across the highway on the lake. There used to be a restaurant, it's still there, called the Brasserie. Now it's the Edgewater.
Oh, the Edgewater Grill, yeah.
I was what was called a busboy.
Aha, yes. Busser.
Busboy back then.
Yeah.
Busser now. Guest service attendant now.
Yeah, it's true. Okay, Ralph, what you got?
I got another 45 minutes to an hour and discussions, but I wonder what we ought to be closing up
I know.
here
Okay.
as time goes on.
Last question.
Maybe just an observation that I've got. I think the first time that I joined as faculty for this group was in 2009. I've attended several of those events, and there was a year, I'm going to say it was 2010, but I disremember, where Oz, as the COOs went through their new and improvements. Alan, you won the day. You had the biggest vertical on a new lift, and it was a magic carpet. And that's where the conversations about bathrooms started, because he had added a stall. And that started a discussion about, well, we've added 2 stalls. And so it goes, but it really went to paying attention to the guest and how we were changing our attitude and what we did in the process. As I sat in the corner today and watched the things that are going on and the focus that you brought to summer, the improvements that we have in place, this is really a different world than we were in the past. Remarkable shifts through the valley and the community. I just want to commend you and the companies that are investing in this county for the work you're doing. It's impressive when you see it together like this. Not a question really, but an accolade that I think you all deserve. Well done.
Thanks, Ralph. Thank you.
Well, we certainly had a million more questions, true story, but we got caught with time. But thanks to all of you for being here and all of you for spending so much time. We're keeping you out of your office, and we're sorry, but it's a Friday. Maybe that's okay. Hell, take the rest of the day off on me. Regardless, we're glad you're here. Thank you for supporting the Chamber. Thanks to all of our COOs for all you do, and let's look forward to a great ski season.
All right, bear with me for just a couple more minutes. Sorry. Nope, I'm just going to wrap things up. We just have a couple more thank yous. I want to thank all of these COOs for all of the great content, so enlightening. Thank you. Thank you again to Chris and the entire team at the Conference Center. Amazing breakfast, amazing hosts. Thank you to all of the teams at the Ski Area Partners who help make our community one of the most sought-after winter recreation spots in the country. You guys rock. I want to take one more opportunity to thank our sponsors, Centura St. Anthony Summit Hospital, our presenting sponsor. Thank you, guys. Panorama Summit Orthopedics, Alpine Bank, Excel Energy for sponsoring our delicious breakfast this morning, First Bank, Skyrun Vacation Rentals, Summit Realtors, I Furnish for the gorgeous stage decor that you see here. Climax Molybdenum, Ramada by Wyndham, Sauce Family Restaurants, Bellwether Homes, Beaver Run Resort, Howard Head Sports Medicine, Town of Silverthorne, Summit County Government, Breckenridge Grand Vacations, Town of Silverthorne, Outlets at Silverthorne, Summit Express. You guys rock. Thank you. Thank you to Seth Conkle and Tom Mason at Epic Event Pros and Angelique Lockridge at Inspired Marketing Events. Angelique, you are a true rock star. Thank you for putting on this amazing event. Thank you to all of our volunteers and again to the COO Summit Committee. And finally to Nell and Elizabeth for being such great hosts this morning. Thank you guys for being here. That's a wrap. I cannot wait to see you on the Hill this winter.